There are 6 European destinations to visit in April. I actually made one of these videos for January, February and March, and a few people asked me to do April as well, so here we are. If you haven't come across my channel before, then hi, I'm Emma and I make a lot of travel content, and it's all pretty much travel content that I do around my 9 till 5, so hopefully it's helpful for other people in some way as well. So first up we have Athens. I think April is a really good time of year to visit Athens. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's also not too crowded, and the average temperature is about 20 degrees. Also in April, a lot of the days have clear blue skies, there's fewer crowds than in the summer, and you can explore all of the ancient landmarks like the Temple of Olympian Zeus and the Acropolis without literally melting away in the summer heat. I actually remember last year when they shut the Acropolis down for a few hours a day in the summer because the heat wave was just too intense for people to even visit there, so I do think that visiting in April would be a much more enjoyable and literally cooler experience. One thing I would say is if you do go to Athens, make sure to save this list of rooftop bars, because when I went to Athens a few years ago, one of the cool memories that I will never ever forget is just watching the sunset over the Acropolis. Second, and because April is such a sweet spot for visiting Greece because the weather is not too hot, it's not too cold, I definitely recommend the Greek islands. I think that any of the Greek islands would be absolutely beautiful and amazing this time of year, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Paros. This is part of the Cyclades Islands, so that includes Santorini, Mykonos, Naxos, Milos. Paros is actually often compared to Santorini, but it just doesn't have the high prices because it's slightly less accessible. You'd have to get there by getting either a flight or a ferry from Athens. So actually, if you wanted to do Athens and a Greek island, you could easily fit Athens and Paros into one trip. Third, we have the Norwegian fjords, and we went here 3 years ago on a cruise, and we were just so blessed with the weather. We did Olden, Stavanger, Haugesund and Ålesund. And the reason we did it on a cruise was because Norway is astronomically expensive, and just going on a cruise worked out the most budget-friendly way. We could have done 4 places in a week. But obviously, if you have more time and more budget to throw at a trip, hiring a car and going along the coast would just be absolutely amazing. Up next, we have the Algarve in Portugal. This is famous for its cliffback beaches, its seafood, picturesque villages. Someone I used to work with actually last year went on a walking holiday in the Algarve, and it sounded amazing. Basically, they just stopped in different villages, put all their stuff in a backpack and just walked between the villages, and they did that for a week or 2, and it just sounded like the most wholesome trip ever. They got to stay in some really unique places, saw some amazing views, and I think the weather in the spring is obviously perfect for this because it's not too hot either. Up fifth, we have Kotor in Montenegro. So April is actually the shoulder season in Montenegro this time of year, so like a few of the other places I've mentioned, it's going to be less busy and less expensive than other times of the year. So I think this makes it a really great time to wander through the Old Town. This is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. When I went to Kotor, which was quite a few years ago now, we did a hike from the bay right up the mountains, and the views going up were just so beautiful. The colour of the water in the bay was just something I will never forget. But yeah, if you're like me and you like doing outdoor activities, then the spring weather is definitely going to be better for that. Up sixth, and this might seem like a bit of a curveball compared to some of the other destinations I've mentioned in this video and in some of my other videos, but it's the Isle of Skye. I just think the north of Scotland looks